Hi, it's Julie, and I'm in Tennessee. And well, it's been a great trip so far. The last couple of days have introduced a couple of challenges, and so if it's okay, I'd like to share them with you and kind of puzzle through them, if you will. Um, I had a really wonderful run through Arizona and New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma. I haven't been able to interview as many people, but I have because of doing everything outside. But I've been able to make lots of connections, and I've really enjoyed the conversations that I've had. One issue, though, is that if you look at the interviews that I've posted, you would get the impression that I've only interviewed conservative people. And in fact, that is not the case at all. Um, the puzzling thing for me is, unlike my last three trips, where I felt like I was getting a really good cross section of representation, this time I feel like that's true. Even though I'm in red states, I'm finding a certain number of liberal leaning people. The difference is that without exception to date, they have not been willing to go on tape, not even audio tape, let alone video. And it wasn't until today when I kind of looked back at this and thought, that's just very odd that the only people I've been able to tape have been our conservative brethren. And so I don't know what the answer to that is, and I don't know what to do about it, but I just wanted to bring it up as an observation. Um, the second observation is a little more troubling, and it's making things a little more challenging for me, and it's around COVID and masks. So as I moved through Arizona, I think I got lulled into a certain complacency because Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, even North Texas, was pretty much a slam dunk. Very few situations where I couldn't go into a market or a hotel lobby. It just didn't happen. The people were wearing masks. There were signs. People were wearing them. I just didn't have that many experiences that way. Oklahoma does not have a mask mandate, but it just turns out that in the cities that I stopped, they did, and for the most part, and certainly in franchises. In other words, I needed to go grocery shopping. I always try to go into local grocery stores, but it turns out that's always trickier because the local grocery stores have a harder time enforcing um, face masks. That is not true at Walmart. Walmart has more credibility than any public health official apparently in the country. So getting in and out of Walmart's easy peasy. But people warned me that as I got to Arkansas, the attitude might shift a little bit and it might become more challenging. Um, and I don't think it's self-fulfilling prophecy, but it certainly ended up being the case. Um, it's not just that a higher percentage of people are not wearing masks. It's that it is more of an issue or more of a statement. And people are doing it with a level of determination that I didn't see before. And so, in order to keep my promise to the people I love and to myself and to the people that I hope to interview, I've been having to be super cautious, which means there's only two things I absolutely have to do every day. I need to be able to go into a hotel lobby and get my key and get up to my room without going in an elevator. And I need to be able to stop for gas and and go to the bathroom. And it's that last thing that's turning out to be kind of tricky. It turns out most of the rest stops are closed. Most fast food dining rooms, they're doing drive-through only. And so um, it, all the heavy lifting, as it were, is being left to the truck stops. And all through the states that I've come through so far, um, especially the franchised ones like Love's, which we're going to talk about because, oh my God, it's the greatest truck stop ever. Clean, They have cups with fresh fruit on ice, and very nice, very personable. And in the ladies' room, they have scales you can weigh yourself for a quarter that are super accurate. We love Loves. Anyway, when I hit Arkansas, um, it it turns out that at least the first few places that I stopped, where I had been able to rely on pretty much the management of the truck stop ensuring that people were masked, that that just pretty much fell to the wayside. So what I had to do was I will pull in and observe and watch and see a how many people are in there, and b if people are in general wearing masks or not. And more likely than not, I have to go to another one and another one, which when you are a 62-year-old woman on the road is not pleasant. And today I realized I was having a reaction that I wasn't happy about. Let me explain it this way. The whole reason I do these trips is because I really like getting out of my comfort zone and going out into this world where there are a lot more people who see the world differently than I do. And my technique is that I look for opportunities to connect on something small that makes the subsequent conversation we're going to have flow easily and in a way that is I just enjoy. So as you could, like something like getting your ranger badge with Christina, or talking about motorcycle accessories with the motor. I can do 20 minutes on saddlebags, right? Just make the connection and have a genuine conversation, and then everything that flows from that, regardless of where they are, wherever we are on the spectrum, it's just incredibly enlightening and enjoyable for me. And it turns out, I don't know how to say this. When I see what I would call militant non-mask wearing, it results in a reaction in me that is not conducive to anything that I just reviewed. It's not just that people are walking into places not wearing masks. It's that there is a body language and a posturing that is aggressive and has clearly resulted in people being timid and being unable to speak up or ask for what they need. And so there is this tension in these communities, and it's palpable. And my reaction has been decidedly unattractive. I am angry and offended, and I have no interest in anything about that person. And that's kind of when a light went on. Because what I realized, I've been wondering, I think like all of you guys, why doesn't Trump just put a mask on? At what point, like even after he had COVID, why would he stand on that balcony and rip that mask off? And all of a sudden, I realized it's kind of genius. It is the most effective wedge issue that I have ever encountered. And it's effective with me. If I'm being honest with you, I now, as militantly as that gentleman feels like he is entitled to not wear a mask, I militantly don't want anything to do with him. Now, I know that sounds like a natural thing for people who believe science and all that, but it turns out that if a wedge issue is something that's supposed to make us define them and us, and make sure that it's always a them and that we never find the humanity in between, it is incredibly effective. And so when Donald Trump gets a person like this, and I want to make this distinction, when these people are walking into these truck stops, it's usually not just the random truck stop on the side of the road where there's nothing else around it. This is usually in a community, and there are lots of people from that community who may frequent that truck stop. And so these are people that are known. And so when he walks into that truck stop, he's making a statement that says, I'm on this other team, period. And it doesn't matter what my place was in this community or what the community needs are. I am part of this team. And if you don't like it, too bad. And I find that very disenfranchising, even for me. And so I am trying to wrestle with that, because what I believe strongly in and what I am hopeful for is that we can have a reconciliation in this country. And yet, one of the reasons I think Donald Trump doesn't wear a mask, because he knows that all of these people who are willing to turn their back on their own community and make such a militant stance on this, they are his forever. And it is a show of loyalty unlike I have seen before. And so I'm going to keep exploring this a little more. Thank you for letting me try and get it out. And if you have any thoughts, send them to me. Any insights that might be helpful, I would appreciate it. But in the interim, I promise I'm keeping distant, I'm staying safe, but I really want to understand more. Thanks, you guys.